Yo, welcome back to the channel. Last time with our old 85 C10 here, we pulled out the motor and trans, so there's a hole. Pulled off all the exhaust, pulled the bed, that's over yonder. But the focus today is gonna be tearing down this motor, which I don't know a whole lot about, except that it might be a crate motor, allegedly. I don't know how many bolts are holding on the main bearings. Maybe it's a 2, maybe it's a 4. I haven't even pulled the valve covers yet since I've owned it, and I was very tempted to do that once we had the engine out, but I figured I'd wait till the video in case there's any surprise hardware inside of it. So today we'll probably get it tore down as far as the short block, and then maybe probably pull the cam too, see if that is anything to talk about. Let's check it out. Let's just get right on in here to the valve covers and see if anything's hiding. It shouldn't take long since we got these quick twisties on here. A little wobbly. Please have roller lifters, please have roller lifters. Come on. What we got? Stock valve train. Looks clean, at least. It's all right though. Stock valve train is gonna be completely fine for what I have in mind for this engine, which is really just a refresh and some paint, and probably throw a cam in there too. Not probably, we're gonna throw a cam in there too. But I am curious as to what kind of heads these are. If it was a crate motor, I think they're new. They look pretty good. Real quick, I'm gonna take off all these accessories and their accompanying brackets. Yep. Man, what am I looking at? There's a barcode right there. Oh, it's the same thing that this back one says. Remanufactured by non-OE. I just put this on probably 6 months ago, so. Ooh, a little bit of water. Might as well get this balancer off of here while it's in frame. Let's work on getting the intake manifold off, starting with the distributor here. And the carb's already off, that way we get our engine yoink plate on there. Now, there's just a plethora of 12-point bolts around the perimeter of the intake manifold that I'm gonna remove. Well, with the exception of this one hex head. Last two coming out. Let's give it a tug. Nice and clean. I like it. Now before I rip out the rockers, the push rods, and take off the heads, I'm actually going to drain the oil because I haven't done that yet for whatever reason. And while that's draining, I'm also going to get out the spark plugs so we can get a reading on these, which so far, based on the only one I pulled out, looks pretty good. Oil's about done draining. Spark plugs look good. Nothing to complain about there. Now, here's where I'm a little bit confused, and I might need some help on this one. As far as the oil pressure, I was under the impression that you either have a switch or a sending unit, not both. I have both. Now, if you can help me out, I'd appreciate that, especially when I go back to put it all together and get it working right. The oil pressure never really worked right anyway on the gauge, and if you need to know, it's an 85 Silverado trim, came with a 305 from the factory according to the build sheet inside the glove box, and you can't even see anything in here, but I have the oil pressure gauge and not the idiot light. Real quick before we pull the heads, I want to see if this dumb socket that I bought for sensors like this actually fits on here. Whoa, it does. Pull that off quick. Tight! I got it in straight 4 mode. Get some more oil out of there, let that cool and drip out. I'm gonna get this oil filter off of here too. Gonna start getting the rockers off. Now it's important, since we're gonna end up reusing most of this stuff anyway, to keep it in the order that it came out, like you see I did on the driver's side, in an old box. I got the rocker arms in order there beside it, and then the push rods I just stuck down into the box. Getting each one of these off, just backing the nut off the rocker stud, one on each. And then we'll just take the push rod right on out, right to the box. Go right on down the line. I'm gonna fish these lifters out of here with a magnet. We're gonna end up getting new lifters anyway with the cam. I'll probably keep these in order anyway, just for the heck of it. Close up. Come on. Nope. Gotcha. Ready to pull the heads. 17 head bolts per side, and I'm going to take them off reverse order of the torque pattern. So starting here, and then we're just going to do a big old reverse cinnamon roll till we get to the middle. Probably just crack them all loose by hand and then come around and zip them out of there. Just want to take the tension off evenly. I don't know if it's a thing, but hello, coolant. Oh, hello, more coolant. That's what the mat's for, huh? We'll just roll with it. I know, you need a battery, okay. Rip this other one off quick, same deal. More coolant again. That was loud and unnecessary. Nice. Making a mess as usual, but look at this. I don't know if you can tell, but you can still see crosshatch there in the cylinder. I don't think there's many miles on this motor. Looking good. Moving on to the timing cover, we'll pop that off quick. Before we pull this timing set off, I'm gonna set the first cylinder there to the top dead center and see if the timing dots line up, which they should, I hope. As you can see, cylinder 1 is at the tippy top of its stroke, and the timing dots are lined up on the crank gear and the cam gear. What I'm gonna do now, take out these 3 bolts, get that cam sprocket off of there. Now it shouldn't take much. Yep, cam gear. Put that right about there. Look at that. That cam's already eager to get out of there. I'm gonna fish this bolt in here so I got something to grab onto. Now I'm gonna take the cam out. I'm gonna spin it, pull it. Try not to let it fall onto the cam bearings. And there it is. Didn't really have to pull the cam tonight, but I did want to see if it was anything special, but based on some of these markings, there's no engravings or anything from anything aftermarket. Cam bearings look pretty good. What we're gonna do now is take off the crank gear. I think I decided pretty much I'm gonna get a new timing set. Got the puller set up on there. That ain't doing it. All right. Pretty well tore down on the top side. What I'm gonna do now is get these oil pan bolts off, pop that sucker off. To do that, since there's still coolant and stuff in here, first I'm gonna tilt the engine that way, take off these bolts, let everything leak out this side, and then reverse, let everything leak out this side while I take out these bolts. And just like the timing cover, we have 1.5 billion of these hex bolts. It looks like the corner ones are a step, nope, 2 steps up in size. On the bright side though, it looks like we have a 1-piece rubber oil pan gasket. Moment of truth. 2 or 4 bolt main. Come on, the suspense is killing me. Here we go. Get on off of that. No peeking. I'm peeking. Well, unfortunately, that is a 2-bolt main. Not a big deal. Not going for crazy horsepower, just a nice little mild cam, daily driver. But man, it's not what I was expecting. I thought it'd be a 4-bolt. It'd be all right. Got the motor flipped all the way around. Now there is some silver linings to our discoveries, but like I said, the 2-bolt main, not that big of a deal. But this oil pump, M155, that's indeed a milling part number. So we got a milling oil pump, but if you see here on this intermediate shaft, there's a little plastic collar, and it's made of plastic. So they make metal ones. Definitely gonna get one of them. And another important discovery, I guess I could have, if I would have removed the flex plate like I should have while it was dangling off the hoist, I would have been able to see. It's a 1-piece rear main, which is good because it has this housing on the back separate of the last bearing cap. I'm gonna have to fish a wrench in here. I might even have to get it back on the engine hoist to get this flex plate off. That sounds like fun for another day. I'm gonna turn the engine back around, kind of let it drip into the pan for the next day or 2. I also need to clean out these cylinder bores. Some coolant made its way in there. So I need to clean that out and then coat it with something, probably WD-40 on the cylinder walls, just so it doesn't flash rust. It's only gonna be sitting a couple days. Well, no, it'll probably sit a week, but probably be okay, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That is gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We're not gonna be working on the motor. I need to order some parts in. We're gonna work on the engine bay, getting it cleaned up, painted, maybe delete some stuff that I don't want and or need. But I hope you like this video. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.